Running a small business means I wear lots of hats. When I put on my hiring hat, I can count on LinkedIn Hiring Pro to make it easy. LinkedIn Hiring Pro helps manage my hiring workflow, puts my job post in front of a unique network of professionals, and matches me with the best candidates for my business. I can also share my job with my network. No other job site lets me do that. No wonder most small businesses say they'd use LinkedIn Hiring Pro again. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
Hear that? That's now Crispy and McCrispy strips meeting Creamy Caesar sauce. Sounds extra crispy. Caesar sauce at McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The biggest moments in sports are streaming live on Fox One. From MLB to NFL, Big Noon Saturdays, and so much more. Fox One brings you the games, rivalries, and can't-miss moments all season long. And it doesn't stop at the final whistle. Catch highlights, expert analysis, interviews, and the stories behind the biggest moments in sports. Watch live or on demand, at home or on the go. Stream Fox Sports on Fox One. Download the app today.
The Daily Braw. This is anything but footy at the Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games.
Scottish Power. A brilliant end to the athletics session at Scotstoun. In Glasgow, I'm Michael.
And in Glasgow, I'm John. As an England lion roars in the weightlifting and Wales win the big team sprint in the velodrome.
We've all the latest news from the games, and don't forget you can hear us live every day on TalkSport via our website, DAB Digital Radio, AM on your smart speaker, or via the TalkSport app.
This is Anything But Footy with the Daily Braw from the biggest sporting event in the UK this year.
Now, yesterday was JC, John Cushing's 50th birthday. This morning, my voice is a little bit croaky. And you would be forgiven for thinking the two of us went out last night, had a few, and I am maybe not in the best possible shape this morning. The actual truth of the matter is, no alcohol passed my lips last night. The reason...
It was impressive.
The reason my voice is a bit croaky this morning is called Megan Keith, because the women's 5,000 metres final in Scotstoun last night was just exhilarating to watch. So... we had a Kenyan and a Ugandan athlete out in front for a long, long time. I know that no one outside of Africa has won this event since Paula Radcliffe back in Manchester 2002. And then with about 5 or 6 laps to go, Team Scotland's Megan Keith just put her foot down as she went for it. She took it up, she went to the front, and she tried to front run it from about 4 or 5 laps to go. Now, she dragged along a couple of Australians as well. Jess Hull, who's also going in the mile here, and Rose Davis, who's already won gold in the 10,000 metres. And she led to, about 100 metres to go, and the noise was just unbelievable, and therefore the noise in our commentary had to get a bit louder as well. We were roaring her on. In the end, Rose Davis did the double, won gold for Australia. Jess Hull won the silver, but such a brilliant, beautiful bronze medal for Megan Keith of Team Scotland as well. I think she won a lot of friends last night, and she climbed up into the stands afterwards. Her grandfather was there. I understand he's 100 years old. He was in the stand last night. She did that Pat Cash style climb up through the spectators. She got to about 5 metres below where we were, hugging her friends and family. And I know if you're waking up in Australia this morning, you'll be saying Rose Davis, Jess Hull's 1-2 was brilliant. But for us here, for the home crowd, it was definitely Megan Keith last night.
And just quickly, I overheard Jess Hull as she walked past me in the mix zone, because I'm hoping to speak to her after the mile, obviously. And sometimes it's a little harder to interview people when they finish silver, when you kind of think that they're gonna win the gold. But anyway, she was walking past and she spoke to the press attaché, and she just looked at him and went, "Wow, that was a brilliant race to be in. I'm so pleased for Rose. She was incredible." And I just thought that was such a refreshing attitude, that it wasn't about how, I've missed out on a gold, I'm an Olympic silver medalist, I should be winning the gold. She just loved being in a brilliant race. And also Megan Keith also told me that, she made the mistake in the 10,000 that she was that she didn't break away. She didn't try and lead. She didn't try and win a medal and win a race. And she said, I take harsh lessons, but I do learn from my mistakes. And so that's why she took it out, tried to run for home, tried to shake off the Australian. She shook off the Ugandan and the Kenyan, but couldn't quite do it in Australia. And I thought Christine Harugu did a brilliant job summarising the race on Talksport last night with you, where she said, and you talk about the Ugandans, the Africans that have won it, and the Kenyans, that things come to an end. In sport, it doesn't just naturally roll on forever that African nations will win the women's 5K or the 10K. And that's why we watch sport. But it reminds me sometimes when you listen to the brilliant talk sport when they're talking about football, but you have football fans phoning up saying, well, why is my team not doing what it's done for the last 20 years? What's changed? Something always happens to change things, and the natural order of things usually reverts back, but sometimes it won't. And these championships at the moment, we're just seeing some incredible distance races, and the European Commonwealth teams, if you like, and Australia are just reacting to that and delivering. And in some ways, it's been a brilliant championships for that.
Yep, also on the track last night, men's 100 metres T11, T12 final. Zach Shaw of England, he's trained by Adam Jamili, friend of the pod. He won the gold medal. It was great for him because he'd won a bronze at the Paralympics. He'd won a silver at Birmingham 2022 as well. And it was also a very emotional night for him. And you spoke to him, I know, afterwards.
Yes, I did. He lost his mum virtually a year ago around this time. It was before the Diamond League meeting in London last year in July. And his mum had been battling with cancer. In fact, when he won that silver in Birmingham, she'd just been cleared and given in remission. And unfortunately, then it came back within a couple of years. And he wanted to do it for his mum. He had a necklace with her name on around him. He had a little sign on the back of his bib saying, "This gold is for you, mum." And he wanted to go and deliver it. But what I didn't realise, Michael, having spoken to him, was that when he was going through the grief of losing his parent, his mum, that he didn't want to get back on the track. He was running and would have panic attacks and the like. So he has come back. He's done it for his mum. I hope now that he can continue to grow, because he's obviously quick, and he's obviously has the potential to be one of the Paralympic champions that we all know and people know the names of. So well done to Zach Shaw last night.
Yeah, just wrapping up a couple of other bits from the track last night. Personally, loved seeing Scott Lincoln win a bronze medal. Obviously, doing the commentary on Talksport, unlike being trackside for Talksport, I don't get to see these guys at the end of the races or at the end of their events like I would normally. Known Scott since he was a teenager. He's 33 years of age last night, but I made an exception. So at the end of our show last night, just after 10 o'clock, we were just sat in the commentary position. Scott had his medal ceremony. He was coming back down the track doing selfies and pictures and signing things. So I made a dash down the stairs, and I went and gave Big Scott a bit of a hug, and he absolutely rinsed me. Actually, he said I got to have a chat with someone else after my event tonight. He says it was quite refreshing. He was better than you.
That is not the case. That is not the case.
It was quite nice to speak to somebody else. So yeah, look, great to see Scott, second consecutive bronze medal. I think he can look back at some point in the future, and hopefully there's a few years more, he can look back and go, 2 Commonwealth Games medals, very close to the World Indoors this year as well, just missing out on a medal there, World Championship finalist. I know he'll want to go to the next Olympics and get into an Olympic final. It's the one thing that has probably sort of eluded him. And mixed success in the 200. Success for success, no success for Zarnell.
No, it wasn't a great run for Zarnell. The Europeans are coming up. Scott was talking about them, about getting into that final and going there and winning a medal. And as you say, you've been speaking to him since he was a teenager, but actually 33 years of age as a shot putter, he's got the opportunity to win some big medals before the end of his career. You mentioned that we your no alcohol past your lips for my birthday celebrations, but we did go out last night and celebrate. And Georgia Holt, the friend of the pod and our reporter for TalkSport, was part of that. So we haven't got an update from her from the cycling this morning. I'm not saying that alcohol may have passed her lips. She did a great job on the first day of the velodrome. So did Emma Finucane, the Wales team sprinter, world champion, Olympic champion. She and her Team Wales crew actually beat her British teammates Sophie Capewell and Katie Marchant in the team sprint final to win gold. So a brilliant start for them. I think England beat Australia as well in the men's team pursuit, which it doesn't happen very often in the velodrome. So great start. They just need to sort out their timings in the velodrome because they were 45 minutes late. Maybe that's why Georgia didn't send us her report as well, because everything just overrun, which is crazy.
And she left before you. Maybe I need to put her on a disciplinary. Before the athletics last night, you went to see one of Team England's biggest stars.
Yeah, it was a special day yesterday, not just because I was hitting the grand old age of the half century, but I went to see Emily Campbell, who I think is probably one of the biggest sporting names in the country at the moment, certainly at these Commonwealth Games from an England point of view. We've said that we need England to win a gold medal on the track. That may well come with Georgia Hunter-Bell later on day 8. But day 7 was dominated by the lion that is Emily Campbell. And I describe her as that because she came out onto the stage at the Armadillo and the mix zone, and you'll see the photos if you follow me on social media, the mix zone for that, where I was based, is literally stage right. You are on stage at the Armadillo and she's in the middle of the stage with the spotlight on her. I felt like I could reach out and touch her. I didn't because she was concentrating on doing what she needed to do, but it was that close. But she came onto the stage with her bright red mane. She'd had the glam squad in. She'd worked really hard on the hair. She said to me afterwards, I only do this stuff because you guys keep asking me about it. I think she enjoys it as well. I think it's part of her now routine. She's a double Olympic medalist. She's now a double Commonwealth champion. The hair it happens the day before. She had little England lions it braided into the hair as well. She looked incredible. She lifted incredible as well. She broke her own Commonwealth record. Certainly the clean and jerk, 163 kilograms. That is 25 stone. That's a baby elephant, or in fact a fridge freezer with opening doors, French open doors, where 4 men were needed to carry that into my kitchen 2 years ago when we had the kitchen redone. She could do it herself. It was brilliant. There was a bit of a contest with New Zealand as well in the snatch, so she had to come out and deliver in the clean and jerk. She did. And interestingly, when she came up to speak to me afterwards, she firstly said, "John, are you bored of speaking to me yet?" And
Never.
I went, "No," I went, "Absolutely not. I'd love to carry on." And she said that even though she's in her 30s now and she's 32 years of age, she's enjoying her lifting, but she said it is getting harder. And as she gets older, her body changes and she's getting used to how her body works in the 30s. And it's so refreshing to hear that stuff from female athletes. And Daryl Neater talked to us a little bit about it, didn't she, before the games, about just how it impacts you as a female athlete. So it's great to hear. But she suggested that she's going to go to LA 28. So I would like to go and interview her then, please.
So, talking of shows of strength, 20 home nation boxers in semi-final action later on today, knowing they've already won bronze, but now have the chance to go and fight for gold or silver. Now, you can see all of the boxers from around about 10 o'clock this morning at the Hydro, but I'm going to head down there later, try and check out some Rosie Eccles for Team Wales and Michaela Walsh for Team Northern Ireland. They're on their kind of farewell tours, if you like, and they'd both love to finish with gold.
And the judo begins as well. 12 home nations judokas take to the mat from 11 until 7. And as mentioned, really the athletics, we haven't even talked about this, and maybe we'll talk about it in the next episode after this race, but it's being dominated by Georgia Hunter-Bell versus Lillian Nadira tonight in the women's 800 metres. But this morning, I'm off to watch Mel Woods try and win the gold again in the women's T54 1500 metres, because after an appeal, judges have said she's got to rerun the race. We'll see what the result is and the fallout from that, literally, after the crash. But let's talk about that tomorrow, because it was a disgrace that they are being made to rerun the race, particularly for silver medalist Ellis Cottas of England and everybody else. Racing things happen, and unfortunately, we'll see Mel in action again, and I'll try and grab a word with her afterwards.
Australia have crashed through 50 goals on the medal table, 51 goals, 110 in total. They has slowed down a little bit with the pool action ending. And I think with the home nations performing really well in the velodrome, and obviously all the boxing medals will be officially awarded over the next couple of days. The host nation, and the home nations will close that gap a little bit. England 16 goals, 65 medals in total. Canada 15 goals and 45 medals. And Scotland 9 golds, 25 medals in total, including 10 more medals on day 7.
Yeah, it was an impressive performance, as you say, topped off by Megan Keith with that bronze. And quick word on Callum Newby, the decathlete. It'll be day 2 today, the Scottish decathlete. He was, a week ago, we were talking to him at the opening ceremony. A week on, he was crossing the line at Scotstoun as a winner in the final race of the day in the 400 metres. I think he literally got sucked round by the Scottish crowd.
You can hear updates all day, every day with John Cushing on TalkSport. And then we have a dedicated Commonwealth Games show on TalkSport 2 tonight from 7 o'clock. From Glasgow, thank you. Remember to catch us on the radio every day. And do check out Anything But Footy on socials too.
This is Anything But Footy at the Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games.